All right, 8:30, we'll convene this park board meeting. David is here, Karen's talking to him, but I guess we'll start with roll call, please, of the park board.
Barry,
Here.
Steve, Steve,
Yeah,
okay. Brad,
Here.
Corey,
Here.
Bo,
here,
Shanda, here. David.
we'll let him pop in. Okay, seeing a quorum, we'll proceed. Go ahead, Jeremy. I don't have an agenda. Oh, I guess double click on that. All right, approval of minutes, looks like we have October and November. I will entertain a motion to approve when you're ready.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second for that.
Okay, moved and seconded for the approval of October 17th and November 21st minutes. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Brad,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
We all look up like we're waiting for an answer from the heavens here, so. All right, financial update.
I handed out a little packet. I apologize for not giving it to Brenda and the team. I honestly kind of late today, Friday, realized that there wasn't, that Monday was a holiday. Didn't want to put that on them. So I just made, turned it over.
Yes.
The first page on there just
Yep.
shows what we did for oil royalty for the year. As we've noted all year long, it's kind of down from previous years. The second sheet there kind of shows all of our camping revenue numbers across the, well, with the exception of Epping Springbrook Dam, across the board, we showed growth both from year to year, but also exceeded our budgeted amount for revenue. Again, with the exception of Epping Springbrook, we're about $1,400, is it, short, or $1,600 short, where are we at? No, about $1,600 short of what we had expected. It budgeted 7,000 for Epping and actually pulled in 5,400. So I think we can attribute that to that blue-green algae. But overall, again, the camping revenues were up. A lot more money went through my sites. So just keep working towards that being closer to 100%. And then the rest of the financial packet is all, information is all in there, the next couple pages. One thing I will note is I'm not sure why it took so long, but in the November meeting, I talked about waiting on the Outdoor Heritage Fund for those buoys we purchased. We did get that, but we didn't get that until after the first of the year. So that is reflected in the 2024 budget. Also, I don't know if I missed that earlier or what, but they held back 10% of the amount until we put the buoys in the water. And I'm not sure why. I didn't think it was a big deal, though. I'm pretty sure they're good for it. So once we put it in the water this spring, we'll receive that last 10% of that funding. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'd be open to answering them.
Okay, any finance questions? All right, new business?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Discussion items?
First thing is the Youth Ice Fishing Derby. Just wanted to put it on there. Well, we mentioned before, we're gonna put that at Blacktail Dam. It's gonna be on March 2nd. Pretty excited. The Epping Fire Department had their ice fishing derby this last weekend, and they're donating all of the fish they caught to our youth fishing derby. So they're gonna have a big free fish fry for everybody up at Blacktail when we do that. Also talked to the association out there. They're planning on doing something as well, looking at maybe doing a chili feed or something like that for everyone out there. So just really excited, been working with the United Sportsmen to maybe even take that event up a notch from what we've done so far. So that'll be coming on Saturday, March 2nd. That's all I got for that. Next item on there is the non-point source management program, Clean Water Act, Section 319. So I went down last week, beginning of last week, to present the grant or the application. It was pretty interesting. I was definitely the least knowledgeable water person in the room. A lot of people that knew a lot about water there, but it was a good meeting. It's really more, so they kind of, after meeting, presenting to them, then they come back with recommendations for how to adjust what we've done, and then we'll put in our final proposal that'll go in first part of March, and then but everything they said that looks good, moving along the right path. So it's continuing to move forward with that. It's going to be an interesting learning experience for me, but we're moving down the right path on that. That's all I got for that one.
Okay, any questions? Master plan implementation.
Okay, we got a couple items on there. Go through the first two pretty quick. We did get the last month. We did get the contract with the architect signed. We're moving forward with that. And then right now, Karen has done the majority of the heavy lifting on the CMAR contract. We're now in the passing it back and forth stages and doing those last little touch-ups, but we're almost got that wrapped up too. And then the third item on there is kind of our project status timeline. It's also on the last page in the packet I handed out to, if you want to look at yourself, or it's up on the board. Every week or every month, JLG puts this on there. I'm not sure, did Brett get on this morning? Okay, and then Brett from ALG, sorry, AGL, struggling this morning. AGL, sorry, Brett. Every month, Brett sets this out just to kind of tell us where we're at and what we're working on. Right now, we're started out with Lookout Park, and we'll kind of show you what we're going to be doing there. After this meeting here, we're meeting with the group online, and we're going to be going through and get a detailed look at where we're at with Coteray Park, and just keep going down the line. But it's exciting, and I'll show you in the next thing. Just starting to see ideas of materials and things we're going to do. So this is kind of the PowerPoint that Brett provided last week that we went through, and then we'll just kind of go through it pretty quick. You know, we started looking at what we need to do at Lookout Park, you know, and what we're going to do up there. You keep moving along. You know, got the existing conditions. We got that pipeline we know about that's down there. You can keep going. And just that's the court that was put in. That's a little unlevel.
When are they fixing that?
Well, what we're looking at doing with this in first thing this spring does it make more sense, because we wanted to put parking anyways, to make that parking and put in a new court. And I've talked with George, and he's on board with that, because financially he'll still donate to the park, but now we're not wasting materials. But right away, the goal is that this is the first project we're doing, and we'll kind of go through everything the plan is here, but make that the parking area and put in a sports court on the other side of the park.
So the ones that poured it are helping to pay for the sports court then, or?
However George works it out with them. I know that's they got a pretty tight connection between the two of them. And George, we never even saw it build. He just paid for it before. So as long as he's willing to you know. So moving. Yep, you can keep going. Okay, right there kind of shows what we're looking at. We're doing now from what would be the north end, but moving a little bit south of where the road puts in there. That would be the entryway to that what we will make the parking area. Currently, we're everybody kind of drives in the road and then people do drive right into the park there. We're gonna block that off to make it a lot less accessible so people don't just drive in. Again, coming in from the west. And you can kind of see that's gonna become a walkway with then added sidewalks in, sidewalks to go to the park and then to go to the playground. And then to work your way east or southeast over to where we're gonna put in that new sports court. And then also the other thing we're gonna put in there up on the east side is a park shelter, just a little picnic shelter. So you can move forward. And then add trees. One of the other thing we wanna put is put in some trees. All right, and keep going.
Is this viewable on
Yep.
my end?
Oh, I don't know. Is that Brad?
Yeah.
And Brad, I can send you this. I can email you this PowerPoint too.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Lindsay said she's gonna share the screen. So then we started looking at, he started looking at what materials, and we wanna kinda go materials-wise for, all of the parks kinda look the same, no matter which Williams County Park you're in. Although the one in town here may be the idea is kind of a little bit of a rustic feel because we are out in the county. The one in town, this is kind of the general style we're looking at for Lookout Park. A little less rustic, but still nice. We can move forward. These are the materials kind of looking maybe more for in the other parks. And then I think there's one more after this. This one's even a little bit more rustic with what looks like the timbers. So just gonna kind of look for that style, a little more rustic, but in town, maybe a little less. One other thing we're looking at as we go through, court surfacing is an issue here. There's one company in North Dakota called Madsen Products out of Fargo. They don't really like coming up here unless they have lots of projects. This has gotten a little more popular, and we found a couple places in Minnesota that use it. It's a sports court that has a lifespan longer than what concrete does, just because of the cracking and resurfacing. So we're still kind of looking into it. It's a proposal they're making, but we'll come back and revisit as we go. We talked about we do want to, around the sports court, put up some type of windshield, at least on the north and west sides, just to kind of keep the wind out. Otherwise, that's where we're at. That's kind of shows our timeline for Lookout Park. Having construction documents ready by the middle of March, and then get bidding out and get it done this spring. And then right after this, within a week or so, a couple weeks, is following Coda Ray. Like I said, we'll meet this week and kind of go through the same project with Coda Ray. What questions can I answer? I can tell you, for me personally, it is really nice starting to see plans and seeing products, and it was an exciting process.
Every park, question on park details. Every park is listed except for Blacktail. Is there a start date on Blacktail or target delivery date on Blacktail? Or did I just not get that page?
Are you looking at that sheet with the blue header line and the green, yellow, and orange, the project details?
Yes.
It doesn't have,
Yes.
it doesn't have Blacktail or McGregor or Epping Springbrook. It has Lookout and Coda Ray because they're the first two we're going after. And then it has Little Egypt because we wanted to get after that because of getting information to the Corps as soon as possible. The Corps of Engineers. We do have that really large grant that we were awarded for a shower house at Little Egypt, and there is a timeline on that grant. So we wanted to get moving and because it's the Corps, get them information as soon as we possibly can. Coda Ray, Lookout Park is something we just need to get done. Want to get that park finished, locked up, put in a bow, and move on from there. And then Coda Ray is kind of some low-hanging fruit that we feel like could be one that could get done on a short time frame as well. So that's why those two were selected. And then Little Egypt was selected out of necessity, just with that, feeling that push from the Corps to get them as much information as soon as possible, so we can start working down that path. But yep, so we haven't, the other three parks haven't been put into the timeline quite yet, but these three are the ones we're focused on right now.
So would I be assuming that these are going to be put on the latter part of 24?
I would say that hopefully, Lookout Park will get done right away in 24, and Coda Ray will get done in 24, and then 25. Once we get through that, then we'll decide on what we're, in the next couple months, what we're doing in 25.
Yeah, I've been asked by quite a few out there, Blacktop, when they're starting, when are they starting? I assume it'll be 24.
We talked about doing Blacktail right away, but we just felt like we didn't want to be rushed in our timeline. Brett started working on this in about October, and just felt like Blacktail is going to be the biggest, financially, it's going to be the biggest one we do, and just didn't want to try to hurry up and rush to all documents out, get them out, and get everything mobilized by March or April, or April, I suppose. So we thought this was a little more low-hanging fruit we could get done pretty easily.
I thought, Jeremy, that there was discussion that Blacktail was gonna be last because of the financial commitment in case we didn't have the money to do it. Just kidding, Brad.
Yeah, we had,
I'm already fighting an uphill battle with a lot of people out there on this.
no, I think.
Some don't like improvement.
I think that McGregor and Little Egypt will be last, just because they're the properties we don't own.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I guess moving on to parks update.
Not a lot. It's really cold out there. So and no campers right now. now that we've got ice, and it's starting to warm, starting to get more reasonable, where we would encourage people to go out. I'll get out this week and take my auger and drill all the ice in all the little lakes we have, and find out how deep everything is, and put that out, and start encouraging people to go ice fishing more, and hopefully we get some snow. Dennis didn't hear that. I don't want snow. If we get snow, we'll do some cross-country ski trails, and strike that from the record about the snow. If we get snow, but otherwise, not much going on. The park's pretty cold out there.
Okay. Next meeting I have is February 20th at 8:30 a.m. Anybody else have anything for park board? Okay. Guess we will adjourn at 8:49. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.